Hello again. Today we're going to be looking at Tadasana, the mountain posture. Sometimes when we think of mountains, we may think of them as being rigid and hard. But in this instance, can we think of mountains as being calm and still? We're looking essentially for our centre of gravity. We may obviously naturally think that we stand correctly, but sometimes when we explore a little bit deeper, we find that there are certain areas of the body which are not quite in balance. So just bearing in mind your habitual ways of standing, and maybe even starting from that point of view, just stand quite naturally. Just feel how that feels to the body, your relationship to the earth. There may be imbalances, and this may be actually due to your structure personally. But from this point of view now, can we then just take our feet to that comfortable distance? And that may be for us, it may be with our feet together or our feet anywhere in between. Just feel comfortable. This is really where we're coming from here. And then feel that connection with the earth and just allow the weight of the body to move down towards the earth. So we're quite relaxed and almost collapsing towards the earth. And that may mean that the shoulders come in. I'm exaggerating here how some people stand. And if you observe some people, those shoulders do start to roll in quite noticeably. So just allow the weight to move towards the earth. And then feeling that connection with the feet. To start with, the weight in the feet. How does it feel from the front to the back? From side to side? Does one foot feel more connected to the earth than the other perhaps? So I invite you to explore that feeling and get to a point where actually you feel, just with slight micro movements, just feeling comfortable, just with the feet, just feel that connection. So as you end up with the weight being even between the front and the back of the foot, and from side to side. And this may mean even rotating slightly or just swinging slightly from side to side. The toes are very light. We can actually lift the toes and lightly place them back down onto our mat or the earth. Toes are lightly opened, if that's the way that's natural for us. So find that start point. And then as you work up through the body, you may find now that actually the ankles do actually naturally sit over their natural joint. And you feel a sense of lightness perhaps as we lengthen up through the ankles, create the space in the joint. So we're not being rigid at this time, we're just finding space and softness. And we come up towards the knees. And you may find that actually, just to allow a slight softness and a bend into the knees, we don't want to be propping ourselves. And what I mean by that is that actually we have a tendency to, when people say, let's stand up straight, particularly as a child, we do this. And of course that brings rigidity into the body. I'm not sure that's the right word, rigidity, into the body. But it creates stresses and tensions. And what we're aiming to do with mountain posture is to actually bring us into a point of balance where the body is using the least amount of energy that it needs to. So coming back once again to the knees, can we bring that softness into the knees? Actually find that the kneecaps slightly lift. These are very, very slight, subtle movements that we may not necessarily be aware of if this is the first time that we've observed standing in Tadasana or the mountain posture. And then lengthening up, we soften the thighs and we come to the pelvis. The pelvis is quite a difficult one for me to describe to you because I can't see you, obviously, But again, how people stand naturally will affect how they need to move into their pelvis. Some people have a pelvis where the tailbone is lifted, and some people where the pubic bone is lifted, and this is how they stand quite naturally, so that they're either coming forwards or coming backwards. Just by tilting the pelvis slightly, can you find that neutral position for you? Again, you may decide to actually just sort of rotate it slightly, move it, just to find that position. One other thing that you can do there to actually find is just to place the fingers on top of the hip bone there, and just feel for yourself whether one side's higher than the other. We have a tendency perhaps sometimes to lean, particularly when we're talking to someone or we're doing something that takes our attention elsewhere. We may lean and collapse into one side rather than the other. So just observe where the pelvis is in space and try to bring that into a neutral position. Now this might feel very, very strange for you, because obviously we're used to standing in the way that we naturally stand. So take your time, explore, and even if you feel, yes, that feels right to me, take it to a place where you think, oh, that's a bit different. Okay, I can now feel how that's working for me. So already, working with the lower body, we're now likely to be standing with a certain amount of ease, a certain amount of calm into the body. From there, maybe then we can start to lift up through the spine. We lift through the whole body. So again, when we lift, we're not lifting and then collapsing into our lower back. But we're taking the tailbone towards the earth. So we take the tailbone towards the earth and we lift. We create more space in the lower back. So we lift through the whole body. The actual spine runs virtually through the centre of the body, quite deep in fact actually, although we can feel the spine in certain places on our back, it's very deep within the body. So we're lifting through the spine, create the space between the vertebrae. Allow the chest to open. Also allow space in the upper back. So again, when we bring the shoulders up and down, we're not bringing the shoulders together and pushing the chest out. Actually take the shoulders down the back. So we're softening towards the earth, but also using the earth to rebound through the body. There is this sense of balance within yoga. It's not just flexibility, it's a certain strength as well, and it's getting that balance between the two. As you take your shoulders away, the neck automatically seems to lift and lengthen. You keep your chin parallel to the floor. And from that point of view, what actually happens is, and if you notice this possibly yourself or with other people, that actually when those shoulders round and the head comes forwards, there's a lot of weight coming forwards. The head weighs about 14 pounds. Consequently, if you can imagine being in this position, we're putting a lot of strain on the body to try to balance that head, that balance, that effort that's got to go somewhere else. So can we then, keeping the chin parallel, just bring the head back in line? We may find that we need to just micro movements just to find that point of balance. As we practice Tadasana more regularly, it may help us to become more aware of our breath. We may notice it becoming calmer, more even. One of the other advantages of Tadasana is that we don't need to go to a gym or be anywhere special to practice. In fact, actually, one of the best places to practice Tadasana is when we're waiting in a queue. So that now in future, no time is wasted. Wherever we might be waiting, we can practice Tadasana. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the recording today and found some benefit from it. I've certainly enjoyed recording it, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. So goodbye for now.